Hello, Business 202. This Google Hangout demonstrates the use of Excel formulas and functions in preparing a spreadsheet. The purpose of functions and formulas is to make the worksheet dynamic. If you would change an item in the input area, which represents all the variables that go into the spreadsheet, the computational area will automatically change for all the values that depend on the variables that are in the input section. Let's demonstrate. This is for problem 21.6a on page 1005. The company is trying to project an income statement, and the company has estimated that it will sell 21,875 units in the coming year at a price of $160. To begin the income statement, we would want to show the amount of sales. To begin a formula, you would click on the cell where you would want the outcome to appear and push the equal sign to begin the formula. Then push to the first value that you would want to include in the formula, which in this case is the sales units forecast. And we want to multiply the sales unit forecast, use an asterisk to indicate multiplication, by the estimated unit selling price. Click on cell T10, the unit selling price. To display the result, push the Enter key. And there you have it. 21,875 units times a $160 price per unit results in $3.5 million in sales. Now, let's work on the cost of goods sold. For the direct materials, the direct labor, and the factory overhead, we would want to create formulas for each of these in a similar way. Push the equal sign to start a formula, push to the forecast number of units sold, 21,875, and since for this exercise the inventories have not changed, the units sold represents the cost of goods sold units also. So 21,875 times the direct material cost per unit, 46, push the Enter key, produces $1,006,250 of direct material costs. For the direct labor, push the equal sign, click on the sales units, 21,875, multiply by pushing the asterisk key, and then push to the labor cost per unit, $40. Push the Enter key to show the result. And finally, for factory overhead, this will be a little bit more complex because there are two components to factory overhead. The variable portion, very similar to what we did with direct materials and direct labor, and the fixed portion. So let's incorporate that into a formula. Begin a formula by pushing the equal sign, but this time to separate variable costs from fixed costs, let's enter a parentheses. Click on the sales units, 21,875, to multiply by the $20 unit cost for variable overhead. But right now, we do not want to push Enter because there is a second component. Returning to the formula, type in a right parentheses and then a plus sign to indicate that we will add the fixed factory overhead that resides in cell R18. Now we have the variable component plus the fixed component. We are ready to show the results. Push Enter. And there you have factory overhead at $637,500. We want to add the direct materials, the direct labor, and the factory overhead to establish the cost of goods sold. So let's enter an Excel function. To create a function, enter an equal sign the way we did with an Excel formula. Many of the Excel functions go by general mathematical names. Sum is just what you would expect. It adds values in a column. Type in a left parentheses and then highlight, click and hold the left mouse button and drag over the values that you want to be included in the summation. Click the right parentheses and push enter to show the result. Cost of goods sold, $2.51875 million. Gross profit, the final item that we will do today, would be the sales less the cost of goods sold. So let's enter one more formula by pushing an equal sign, click on sales, push a minus sign to indicate subtraction, and click on cost of goods sold and push enter to show the result, gross profit, $981,250. Okay, there you have it. Now, let's show the power of Excel. Let's suppose that once we had prepared this cost of goods sold and gross profit estimate, that marketing comes back and says, we can sell 24,000 units. What is that going to do to gross profit? Because we have formulas in each one of these cells that refer to the number of units sold, if we would just change the variable in the input section, in this case, change the sales units to 24,000, when I would push the enter key, all the values that are linked to that input value, sales units, would be changed automatically. Watch the numbers on the income statement when I push enter. Ready? There you are. So just that quickly, the income statement can be up changes in the variables. You can play a lot of what-if analysis this way. Let's say that the increase in sales came about because the company reduced its selling price $10 to $150. So changing the input variable estimated unit price to 150 and then pushing the enter key, watch again the income statement. In this case, you can see the income statement is automatically recalculated and the power of Excel is being used. To change back to the original case, let's just enter in 21,875 units at $160 a unit and push enter. And there you have it. We're back to our original condition, and that's it for this Hangout. Thank you very much.